turn it on. This meeting is now called to order. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Trustee Williams?
Present.
Trustee Brooks?
Present.
Trustee Jenkins?
Present.
Trustee Franklin?
Present.
Trustee Bolden?
Present.
Trustee McMullen?
Present.
Mayor Rudis?
Here. Stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So let me apologize for just occurred right now. You were asked to leave because the board is going to go into closed session. We actually, pursuant to the Open Meetings Act, we have to begin the meeting before we can go into closed session. So I do anticipate that we're going to ask you to leave in a minute for a very brief closed session. I understand, but I don't want to have the board in violation of the Open Meetings Act. So we are going to, I believe we have an attorney here to discuss some pending litigation. So we'd like to get the attorneys home because the village is incurring costs as long as she's here. So we're going to...
Musical chairs.
I know, I apologize, ma'am. It was a misunderstanding, and I probably should have explained it better to the deputy chief that we were going to wait for the meeting to be called to order.
I think what would work is if business is taken care of, so when we come to a meeting, then it's more productive. That's what I think.
I need everybody to be quiet now. Sorry.
I can't hear the trustee. Motion, Trustee Williams, going to executive session. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, Trustee Bolden. Roll call.
Trustee Williams?
Both sides.
Trustee Brooks?
Both sides.
Trustee Jenkins?
Both sides.
Trustee Franklin?
Both sides.
Trustee Bolden?
Again, let's
Trustee
go back up.
McMullen?
Both sides.
Mayor Rudis?
We gotta go
Both
up.
sides.
We're now going to the executive session. Take 10
We already finally got nobody.
Okay.
Help her, Lord, help.
We're just going to continue with the approval of the minutes.
What did they say?
I'm requesting that there will be a motion on the table. I'm asking that the board take the minutes there.
Can't hear.
If I can ask everybody to please settle down, meetings in session.
May I now be recognized?
Go ahead, Trustee.
Yeah, I would like to table the minutes until the next board meeting. They were currently unavailable for the board members to review. If I can get a second.
I second the motion.
Motion by Trustee Brooks to table, second by Trustee Bolden. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Trustee Williams?
Both sides.
Trustee Brooks?
Both sides.
Trustee Jenkins?
Both sides.
Trustee Franklin?
Both sides.
Trustee Bolden?
Both sides.
Trustee McMullen?
Both sides.
Mayor Rudis?
Girl. I concur. General public comment. This is a comment form, and if response is necessary, board members may elect to respond formally at the next regular board meeting. Natalia Hill.
Good evening, trustees, Mayor Rudis. I'm here today to ask the board and the mayor to consider us a housing ordinance. We need this as soon as possible. We have people coming into our village wanting to buy up our homes, and we have nothing in place to challenge them to keep up this property. We have our own problems. We understand that a lot of departments are short of staff. We need the housing ordinance to fill in that gap. We're not against anyone, and we're not discriminating against anyone, but we are discriminating against criminal activity and bad behavior and nuisance in our neighborhoods. It's time for us to get ahead of this before these people come in to our village and buy up these properties. We've had tragedy to come in about our water. All these people here, we are not divided anymore. We are together. It's no more business as usual in University Park. You guys are going to start working on this. We're going to stay on you about this. We had a trustee that said he couldn't sleep about a spring cleanup. Ever since those 4 guys came in our village and tried to bully you guys, I haven't been able to sleep. Most of us are middle-aged to senior citizens. We've invested a lot of money in our home and we don't want to go anywhere, and we're not going anywhere. We're going to do our own code enforcement since they're short and everything else. We asking you to work and get this done. Our attorney S. Wade.
Yes.
Trustee Franklin, you're head of the football and baseball. How would you feel if gunshots are started in the middle of your game? We're not going to stand for this anymore. Start working on that housing ordinance. We do not want to be hostages in our home like they are in the city of Chicago. Senior citizens cannot sit on their porch, enjoy their decks. We're not going to stand for that. Now, if you don't want to do it, we're going to start waking you up in the middle of the night protesting. Somebody said, let's take a page from Father Flavor, and that's what we're going to do. We mean business. If you don't want to do your job, we're going to start pulling the covers off you because we voted for you. We want you to do our jobs to keep us safe in this community. We want safe passage for our children this way.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Taylor. Chief Griffin?
Expecting her to answer that, no.
Good evening. I'd like to talk about
I think he said key.
the state of the village. As you know, I was a trustee, and I'm looking at things that I look at people who complain and say different things, but I'm looking at what they've done since their 2 years. I'm looking at we need a new facelift. We are taken for granted by everybody, and we're treated like stepkids. I'm asking for the board to grant Mr. Peary a 1-year contract, put a sunset clause, that is a 1-year contract. You're paying the golf course $15,000 a month and getting nothing back. At least he has the connection to give us a new look. I'm gonna tell you a little story that happened to me.
Could you speak up, please?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you a story that happened to me. And 2 residents, been here longer than I have, been in the village, was at the event. There was 2 ceremonies at Governor's State. The groundbreaking ceremony and the final or the completion ceremony or the opening of the dorms. We had, when we were at the ceremony, I look at our mayor at the time, tried to take credit for something that she didn't do. And we're looking at the board like I'm looking at you, or I can scared to see you all. And I look at Dr. Mameth. What was said was, her and Dr. Mameth brought this, and they brought that, and Dr. Mameth brought this and brought that.
10 seconds, Mr.
Hold on, man. So my thing is this. When Dr. Mameth took the mic, she thanked her 4 predecessors. That was on a Thursday. That Tuesday, back at the board meeting, you could get the tape, because I said it one time. No, hold up, man, come on.
Excuse me,
Well, sit me down, man.
Mr. Griffin.
Yes, ma'am. So please.
Unless they give you more
Okay,
time,
so
you're gonna
let-
have to,
let
you're
me
gonna have
sit
to
down.
stop.
My thing is this.
Because I can't give everybody else additional time.
Well, wait a minute.
We got.
You had people that come up here back and forth. Wait a minute, hold up. You had people that come up here back and forth, back and forth. I only get up here one time. So I'm just asking, could I have just one more minute? Could I have a minute?
No.
Could I have a minute?
Wait a minute.
Just to find just a minute.
Yes, go ahead, trustee.
My thing is this, is what, no, there ain't no partiality.
Yes, it is.
No, it's
It's
not.
impartial.
No,
Okay,
it's not.
everybody,
Don't tell me I
please
understand that.
keep it down, please.
Bias.
No, it's not biased.
Yes, it is.
Well, why did Dr. Mammoth thank her four predecessors? When I got back to the board meeting, I asked her, when was she president of Governor State? She couldn't say it, because she wasn't president of Governor State. And if you think them lies don't hurt us, you're wrong. Them lies hurt us. So I'm asking for you to give him a contract, if you can.
No contract.
Okay, you guys, we gotta stop with the outbursts. Stop. Okay, or you're gonna be asked to leave. Stop with the outbursts.
Mr. Mayor, may I respond?
Go ahead, Judge.
Just one correction. There's a factual issue. We do not pay the golf course $15,000 a month. So that was a statement that was made. We do not pay $15,000 a month for dining in the golf course. So that's the only thing I want to say, to clarify.
All right, for the record. Devon Dilworth.
All right. Good evening, Mayor.
Good evening.
Rudez, board members. Okay, so what I want to talk to you guys about is the adjusted entries, recordings, and those double entry recordings that was done by the accounting firm that the village hired right before I left office. I have actually asked the clerk, D. Jones, if, for FOIAs, for that information. And she explained to me that the board members have to look at that first and vote it in before she can give out FOIAs. This was the first time that something like this ever happened. As a village previous treasurer, I have never heard of that before, but I'm just bringing that to you, Mr. Rudez.
You said double entries?
Double entry accounting records, recordings, and then also those reconciliations that was done. Now, have you guys actually seen that information as of yet?
I would have to refer that question. I'll have to ask our current treasurer to review that.
Okay, because the manager actually sent you guys an email regarding all of this information. He sent the email to you, to the mayor, and to the clerk, and also to the board of trustees. And it's actually giving you that information as far as reconciliations that have been reconciled within fiscal 2018-19. And then also those debits and credits, those double entries, accounting recordings.
Your time
They
is up.
actually show how much debt that this village is actually in.
Your time is up.
No, but Rudez actually started speaking, and so he took up some.
Mr. Dilworth, trustee Brooks would like to know, we would all like to know, when was the date of this email? Because everybody's saying that.
This date was actually sent July 19, 2019.
Who was it sent to?
It was sent to the mayor, the board of trustees, and the village clerk.
Thank you.
And it was from Manager Pate.
Well, I'll be glad to meet with you, maybe you can sit down with the treasurer.
That sounds like a finance committee
Yeah,
update.
with one of those guys, yeah, right.
It was addressed to the finance committee, not to the mayor.
I don't have that. Mr. Dilworth, I don't have that.
You don't have that, huh?
No.
Okay.
I've never had one.
I don't have it either, man.
I don't have.
I have it here, okay? And I pulled it from the village's website. It's actually on the village website, if you want to go on the village website. But I think it's important because you need to actually give the residents some time to actually make, to make their case as far as making sure that, because I know that the villages, 80% of the village's revenue is actually property taxes, okay? And I know property taxes.
Thank you, Mr.
If
Dillon.
we owe money, property taxes are gonna go up, okay? If we owe all those adjusted
Said Mr.
entries
Dilworth.
and double entries,
And you
okay?
know what, I'm
So-
sorry, because you know what, Mr. Dillon, we're gonna stop you, because we're gonna keep this consistent. We're not gonna have extended times from this point on. We gave you extra minute, we gave Mr. Griffin extra minute, we're gonna keep it to the normal, 3 minutes for everybody, no exception, no exclusion. Go ahead, sir.
I'd like to know of what he was talking about. I did not get anything. So where did you send it?
Like an email.
That's not an email. That's an internal document.
That wasn't an email.
Was it sent?
And so it's a, so
Deborah
it,
Taylor? Yes, that wasn't an email, trustee. It was an in-house memo. It's not on the website, Mr. Taylor.
Good evening, everyone. First of all, I want to say that to Mayor Rudez, I'm glad you retracted that. Because when you decide that you're going to make exception to a rule in the middle of the road, it causes confusion, which you very well saw there. Yes, I did make an outburst, but it was based on the stimulus that was put out there to cause confusion. And that confusion is what made me say that I felt that it was biased and it could possibly be a biased decision. So I want to clarify that first. So thank you for retracting that. Second of all, I want to stand up here and get accolades, because many times persons in this community get accolades from very prestigious institutions, and sometimes this seems biased as to who gets recognition and who doesn't. Yes, I'm just going to say it. So therefore, I want to acknowledge the fact that our village manager received recognition from Governor State University, and he was honored there. And I want to tell you that when you're honored, or anyone else from this village is honored like that, what it does is it casts a positive light on this village. So I want to say thank you for your excellence. Obviously, it's been noticed by other people who are excellent. Excellence recognizes excellence. So thank you very much for that. I don't need to flatter you. I don't need to puff it up or pump it up, because you have displayed excellence for me as far as what I measure excellence to be since you have been here. So I want to say thank you for that. Second of all, I don't know how much time I have. Can you please tell me?
1 minute.
Second, I did watch the Mayor's Corner. Congratulations on that. It was a very good program, but I do have a question about that. The gentleman who moderated that program, not sure if that gentleman is from University Park. I think people from University Park are well capable of moderating that program, and I think they should have the opportunity to do so. So I want you to consider that, Mayor Rudez, and maybe you can do a rotation even with your moderators. But I do think that if that party is not from University Park and they are on television saying that they are representing residents from University Park, the other thing is that they need to come here so we can see them. We can know who's coming before our cable station and speaking on our behalf. Thank you.
You're welcome. We'll take that into consideration. Gina Williams?
Good evening, everyone. I want to first express my condolences to the Flowers family. He's one of our public works workers. He lost his wife. So our condolences to the Flowers family. And I don't know if everyone knows Coach Chris. He was, you might know him, Trustee Franklin, but he was a coach out here. He had a traveling baseball team. And unfortunately, he took the kids to Virginia and had a massive heart attack. My son is a part of that team. They're having services. He'll be in state Thursday and services on Friday, 76 in Halsted. I think it's Precious Moments Funeral Home, and a repast in Richton Park. I also want to give congratulations to our village manager, Pate, who does an outstanding job all the time, not some of the time. And I too saw the thing on Governor State. I think that's something we should put on the website. I think he should be recognized. We need to spotlight these people that are making strides in our village. They shouldn't be overlooked. He should be on there too. That's why I'm gonna say this, I don't think we have to look any further. He's done a great job, he's transparent through this whole awkward situation, he's been hands on deck. You don't change partners in the middle of a dance. So I would like to see him remain our village manager, and the people of my street, Pin Oak, we feel the same way. The other thing, Mr. Griffin mentioned Peary, is that hype man, the media man, what's his name? What's his name? I thought I was at Patty LaBelle concert because it was like Patty. Is that who he's talking about? If he's talking about him, no, we don't want him back here. Absolutely not. And as far as Mr. Amon, I'm hearing that from him, he's still having some situations. We agreed to let that young man have these developments. It should be moving forward. You're the attorney, sir. You should make sure, when you heard everybody agree to that, his paperwork should be done. I want it signed, sealed, and delivered.
Deputy Stroud.
Good evening, Mayor, Board, all present, all viewing. How's everybody this evening? I just want to change the tone.
Fantastic.
The tone. See, we've been real serious, and we need to be serious, but I just want to change the tone to read off this menu for the University Park Senior Citizens Committee Annual Senior Fun Day. That's all. Whoever's not hungry, you're going to be hungry. Last year, we had rotisserie chicken, jerk turkey, fried chicken wings, baked ham, spaghetti, dressing, macaroni, some collard greens, dirty rice. Everybody getting hungry yet? Some string beans, had fruit salad, garden salad, potato salad, broccoli salad, deviled eggs, and cakes. But this year, since we're celebrating our 25th anniversary, like I said at the board meeting last month, I still have an envelope. I write down the name of anybody who's going to give donations. August 28th, right here, 90 Town Center, starting at noon. Everybody come out. We're going to have a good time. This is something that is needed in this community. The solidarity, the fellowship, the unity. So, I'll gladly stay around after board meeting so I can collect anybody's donations. Okay, I don't want you to have to look for me. My time up yet? Yeah. Say what? Okay. So anyway, any and all donations are accepted. No donation is too small, is definitely appreciated. But we want to see everybody. August 28th, 12 o'clock noon, 90 Town Center. University Park Senior Citizens Committee 25th anniversary. Thank you so much for participating. You want me to come get a donation?
No,
I'll come to you.
I know. This is Wednesday, right? Is it?
Wednesday, August 28th.
Some of us have to work. Some of us have full-time jobs.
Okay, I'll make sure your donation, well, definitely I'll hold a plate for you and bring it to your house. I can do that for you. I'm willing.
Ms. Stroud, tonight on the way out, is $100 too much?
Never.
Well, come see me on the way out the door.
Oh, so much. Never. And I'll still bring your plate to you. That's not a problem. 6:30 is all right. Thank you so much.
Mr. Morgan?
Don't be much.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Miss Millie. Got to bring it on down to Real Street. A little bit disappointed because I thought we were on our way to our children having some type of structure. Talking about the studio. Mr. Pate, Ms. Jenkins. Our children don't have anything to do. They're walking around loafing the street. Summer is almost over with. Children are going back to school with absolutely nothing to do. That disturbs me. That means that our children have just had a whole wasted summer doing absolutely nothing except listening to our gripes and groans about the water, worrying about the water and all the other issues in University Park. That's not a good thing. Also, beautification, Mr. Pate. That pond, it looks terrible. It really looks terrible. I thought that, and you know what, I know a little bit about pond. I could have told you to get a couple of gallons, throw it in there, some really tough stuff, and it would eat up the algae. But I'm a stickler for our children and also for the beautification of University Park. I'm a taxpayer. I give of myself, my husband does too. And when I don't receive back, when we got water that's contaminated, I'm suddenly paying bills and things, my husband is too. That doesn't make me feel good as a resident. It keeps me in a tizzy. And there's a couple of board members up here. One was so generous to give money, but another one just sits here and just gets angry over the least little thing. Haven't done anything in the last 2 years. I wish that he would do something. I need the two of you guys to really join in with the rest of the board members and let's be a part. Just like Ms. Natalia said, this is unity. We're gonna be here. We ain't going nowhere. In fact, we can't go nowhere. Can't afford to go nowhere. But we're gonna be here. And we expect you all to work with this mayor and work with us. Stop your shenanigans. You can't sleep, neither can I. And I'm right around the corner from you. You giving away hundreds, I am too. For our children. But what else are you doing for our children? You can feed them some junk, no offense, but they need structure. They need structure. And I think that's all I want to say. I want to talk about the water. The water situation here.
Your time up, Ms. Moore.
Okay.
Thank you.
Please get together with the water. Let's support this mayor along with the water.
This next person is kind of hard to read. Is it Camille?
I think that's that insurance presentation.
No, that wasn't public comment. Is that Anita Dow? Danita, okay, I'm sorry.
Danita Post.
All right, Ms. Post.
Yeah, thank you. I do apologize. This is the first time I attended one of your council meetings, and I'm really not sure if this is the platform to ask questions.
Take your time.
So I do apologize. This is the first time for me attending one of your council meetings, and I'm not sure if this is the forum to ask a couple of clarifying questions. Or is this just for statements only? Questions? Okay, I'll be quick, 3 minutes. Of course it's about the aqua situation. I feel really bad about what's going on, and I'm definitely here to support the village because, of course, I'm a property owner as well. I understand that possibly University Park has declared a state of emergency to receive some federal funds. So I wanted to know if the property owners of the village were privy to any of those funds, or have you decided what those funds will be utilized for?
Oh, thank you. We haven't received any funding yet, as far as the water goes.
Okay, I don't know if you guys can repeat, because maybe we don't have a big enough voice. Can you hear me now? Okay, all righty. And so just wanted to clarify too that the newspaper stated there were about 15 properties affected by the high lead levels. Do we have exactly which properties those are? And I wanted to know how far the aqua is in regards to resolving the issue with the lead.
So actually, it's 15 properties that triggered the do not consume. There are over 1,500 properties that are affected currently by I call it the do not consume. Aqua will call it a lead advisory according to how it's defined. 15 properties are the properties that were tested that caused the outcome of what we have now.
Okay.
Right now, it's a little over 1,500 properties that are affected by the lead advisory.
Has any of those numbers been reduced?
No. As of yesterday's conference call, over the last 2 weeks, there have been no properties removed from the lead advisory at this point.
Okay, second question. I understand that the aqua bills are being halted for right now. Do we know how long that's going to last?
The bills are halted only for homes that are in the lead advisory area. Any homes that have been lifted from the lead advisory area are receiving bills. And Aqua has not provided a time frame of how long that'll be.
Your time is up. Sorry.
Mayor, I asked for additional time because these seem like some very important questions. Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's true. But that's fine.
Okay.
Oh, one really last question, I swear to God. I understand that some of Aqua's employees were, I think they were terminated because they were found to be negligent. Do we know exactly the reason that they were found negligent?
No.
Thank you.
And I'll be glad to set up a meeting with you, that'll be fine. Mr. Claudio. That concludes our public section.
Mayor, Matt, be recognized.
Yes, sir.
I do want to respond to the first young lady who came up. I would like to say, first of all, I appreciate the passion that you brought to the table today. I don't know if you are aware, 2 years ago, I actually led a rally against violence in the community with Pastor Reggie. I've been here 35 years, and I want to say that I'm probably the first person to ever lead a rally against the violence in the community. So if you guys are going to be outside waking up people, I'm going to be right there with you. I guarantee you that. And I also want to say that I took it upon myself this summer to do a Dance on Duty project where me and a couple other guys went out in the community on Friday and Saturday evenings between the hours of 8 and midnight, and we patrolled the community. So if there's anybody that's concerned, I guarantee you I'm concerned. I'm the youngest person in the room right now, and typically always that way. I'm raising children in the community, and I'm just as upset as you when I see people coming to this community that I was born and raised in. And it's like cancer. Cancer is to the community. Yes. So the reason that I'm over the football program and I volunteer all these hours to put into these kids, because at least that's a number of kids that I can touch, that I can reach, and I can use football as a vehicle to teach about gangs and drugs and violence and different things. So I appreciate the passion, and I just want to let you know, if there's anybody that's going to be rallying with you, it's going to be me, because I've done it before. And like I said, I've been out here for 35 years, and I think we're the first people that actually led a rally and a march against the violence. And we woke up people in the middle of the day on a Saturday morning to let them know that this is our community. And what I remember we was yelling and screaming is that we live here, we love here. And that's what we told people. So, like I said, thank you. And I just want the opportunity to respond because I'm 100% with you.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right.
Any other comments for the public? Trustee?
Mayor, may I be recognized?
Go ahead, Trustee.
I would like to make a motion to move 2A through F and table.
You want to table items F2A to F2E? F2F?
Yes.
Is there a second? Second by Trustee Bowden. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Trustee Williams?
Both sides.
Trustee Brooks?
Both sides.
Trustee Jenkins?
Both sides.
Trustee Franklin?
Both sides of the table.
Trustee Bowden?
Both sides.
Trustee McMullen?
Both sides.
Mayor Rudez?
Vote aye. Item, that motion has been carried to table. Item F2G, a resolution approving and authorizing the execution of a letter of agreement pertaining to the Let's Play Construction Grant Program. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Moved by trustee Brooks, second by trustee Franklin. Roll call.
Trustee Williams?
Both sides.
Trustee Brooks?
Both sides.
Trustee Jenkins?
Both sides.
Trustee Franklin?
Both sides.
Trustee Bolden?
Both sides.
Trustee McMullen?
Both sides.
Mayor Rivera?
Vote aye. Motion passes. Item F2H, a resolution approving and authorizing the execution of a statement of intent pertaining to the update of the Cook County Multi-Jurisdictional Hazard Mitigation Plan. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by trustee Brooks, second by trustee Williams. Roll call. Trustee Williams.
Both sides.
Trustee Williams?
Both sides.
Trustee Brooks?
Both sides.
Trustee Jenkins?
Both sides.
Trustee Franklin?
Both sides.
Trustee Bolden?
Both sides.
Trustee McMullen?
Both sides.
Mayor Rivera?
Vote aye. Item F2I, a resolution approving and authorizing the execution of a settlement agreement and release by and between the Village of University Park and American Utilities Authority. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by trustee Brooks, second by trustee Williams. Questions? Roll call.
Trustee Williams?
Both sides.
Trustee Brooks?
Both sides.
Trustee Jenkins?
Both sides.
Trustee Franklin?
Both sides.
Trustee Bolden?
Both sides.
Trustee McMullen?
Both sides.
Mayor Rivera?
Vote aye.
Resolution passed.
Item F2J, a resolution of authorization for OSLAD grant program. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Moved by trustee Bell Jenkins,
Second.
second by trustee Bowden and Brooks. The ayes have it. Questions? Roll call.
Trustee Williams?
Both sides.
Trustee Brooks?
Both sides.
Trustee Jenkins?
Both sides.
Trustee Franklin?
Both sides.
Trustee Bolden?
Both sides.
Trustee McMullen?
Both sides.
Mayor Rivera?
Vote aye.
Resolution passed.
I don't think I had this resolution. No. Item F2K, appointment to the mayor's office of special events. Those appointments were applications that were submitted after the last appointment, which would be Robin Walker, Robert Travis, and Allison Jordan. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by trustee Brooks, second by trustee Williams. Questions? Roll call.
Trustee Williams?
Both sides.
Trustee Brooks?
Both sides.
Trustee Jenkins?
Both sides.
Trustee Franklin?
Both sides.
Trustee Bolden?
Both sides.
Trustee McMullen?
Both sides.
Mayor Rivera?
Vote aye. Appointments passed. Now, the last item F21, motion to acknowledge proclamation presented to Governor State University celebrating their 50th year anniversary. Okay, this is just an acknowledgement. There's not a resolution to be read. Just acknowledging Governor State for their 50th year anniversary. Is there a motion?
So moved. I just passed it down to you.
Second.
Is that it?
Yep.
Madam Clerk, you can read the proclamation.
A proclamation declaring the 17th day of July 2019, Governor State University Day. Whereas Governor State University was established on July 17, 1969 by Illinois Governor Richard B. Ogilvie. I don't want to get it up, I'm sorry. As a bold new model to transform lives through education in Chicago's South Suburbs. Whereas Governor State University was initially known as the University Without Walls to reflect its unlimited potential, and opening the same week, the U.S. sent the Apollo 11 to the moon. Whereas Governor State university first transformed itself over 2 decades into a university with 2 classrooms, structured programs, and letter grades, while staying true to its vision and serving non-traditional students. Governor State University has since created a national model to serve adults and returning adults whose contributions as graduates and working professionals stimulates local, regional, and global economies. Governor State University reinvented itself once again in 2011 through 2014 with the creation of an award-winning structured 4-year undergraduate program, the admissions of freshmen, the development of dual degree program, a national recognized partnership with 17 Southland Community College, the building of the university's first living learning community charity place, and NAIA, inter-college athletes, and Governor State University is an educational and cultural destination as the only public university south of Chicago and north of Bloomington, and serves nearly 5,000 undergraduates and graduate students who reflect the nation's new student majority. First generation students of color, adult, and military veterans.
Okay. Now therefore, be it resolved that I, Mayor Joseph P. Rudez III, and the Village Board of University Park do hereby proclaim July 17, 2019 to be Governor State University Day, and ask all of the residents of the Village of University Park to join in this glorious celebration of accomplishment, acknowledging the university's 50 years of contribution to leadership, innovation, education, and excellence in the Chicagoland region, our nation, and the world. Be it further resolved that this proclamation, duly signed and sealed, is presented to Governor State University, and a copy will be placed on file with the official records of the Village of University Park as a testimonial of our appreciation and honor to be the home to such a prestigious higher learning institution, and our commitment to continue the recognition and cooperation with and for this valued institution in our community. Presented this 17th day of July, 2019. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second. Roll call, Madam Clerk. Trustee Williams, motion by Trustee Brooks.
Trustee Williams?
Both sides.
Trustee Brooks?
Both sides.
Trustee Jenkins?
Both sides.
Trustee Franklin?
Both sides.
Trustee Bolden?
Both sides.
Trustee McMullen?
Both sides.
Mayor Rudez?
Votes aye.
Proclamation is accepted.
Beautiful new relationship with Governor State, isn't it, guys?
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Attached for your approval is a listing of general operating expenses for the Village of University Park that occurred on June 25th through August 13th, 2019. General Fund, $320,471.48. Road and Bridge, $11,006.27. Town Center Fund, $3,505.30. Capital Project Fund, $48,219.23. Payroll Fund, $4,295.77, with a grand total of $387,498.05. Is there a motion? So moved by Trustee McMullen. Second by Trustee Williams. Questions? Question? Oh, okay. And we also, go ahead, Trustee.
Okay, Manager Pate, just looking at the bills here, did we ever get established with Ford Motor Company? As I see that already, Unit 15-1 of our squad cars, almost $1,000 in repair. I'm quite sure it had to be a serious repair. Did we ever get it any established, or have they ever felt comfortable yet that we have been paying our bills for the past 2 years?
So the answer is yes. We are working on leasing vehicles. We're looking at Ford as well as we're looking at Enterprise to lease patrol vehicles. Madison just did a trial project where they lease their patrol vehicles through Enterprise. So we're looking at that option and hopefully should be experiencing a movement of new squad cars by the end of the summer.
Okay, because I know you've been tired of me bugging you for the past year and a half. I just don't sit up here. Manager Pate, is it possible that we will be able to, the way we have stabilized the financing, will it be able to bring the police department a whole new fleet? So that way, if I'm not mistaken, we have 4 officers that we're possibly hiring. 4, will we be able to have enough vehicles as well so that the residents, they are tired, I'm tired, that we will have enough units on the street now that we have managed our money correctly? Will we be able to have afford a new fleet of lease vehicles so that, you know, the raggedy squad cars can go?
We're working on it, and the priority is to fleet the police department. It's the #1 priority by the end of the summer.
By the end of the summer?
Yes.
Maybe a little bit longer.
Maybe a tad longer. We're upfitting. Looking to have the vehicles on premises, but a little bit longer we're upfitting.
Okay, that's right, because we got to pay for the outfitting of the vehicles. All right, I just have a couple questions on some check numbers here. Already asked about the squad car. Just very quickly, are we aware we're paying 2, I think I've seen 2 DJ services here. Do we want to make 2 comedian? Is that, because we have check 104-239 and then 104-240. Is that a mistake, or is we don't want them to get $800? We don't have to.
Trustee, actually, there should be a motion on the table to void specific check numbers, and that should answer your questions.
Okay, that means I'm watching the money. Good. All right. Just want to double check. Are they up to date? Check 104-225 with lawn dogs. Are they up to date so we don't have no interruptions between now and when the leaves come down?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, Mayor, I do yield my time back. That's all I have.
Do we actually have 4 new policemen?
Is this a meeting where we just get answers from the...
I'm only asking because
Ms. Morgan, please don't hop off from the floor.
okay, I just want to know because it's misleading to us.
Mayor, I don't mean to do this. I know I did not misspeak, but Manager Pate, I did say we'll have 4 officers coming. Am I correct?
That's correct. We have 2 officers currently being processed for employment right now, and we have 2 other officers once the new job posting for lateral officers are put out to hire another 2.
Okay, and being a person who was the chair of the Police and Fire Commission and was among 2 in which we're bringing 1 back for, with the mayor's recommendation to hire the most policemen that we did have in this village, I can tell you that it does take a 3-month process to do. So I don't think it's anything misleading. What I'm saying is that government works at a slower pace than we wanted. We should have learned when we had our first African-American president. He could not do everything in one night. He could not do everything in 8 years. But we have Obamacare. We have many policies now that benefit us. I even have policies that benefit me as a police officer. So it takes time for the mayor and this board to get things done and the village manager. So the timeline, if we definitely want to know, we'll ask Manager Pate. He just told us. I don't think 4 officers is misleading, and it would be a blessing to have 4 policemen and 4 new units cruising the street instead of these raggedy vehicles that have been sitting here since 2011.
Thank you, Trustee.
Thank you, sir.
Trustee Jenkins.
Mayor, may I be recognized?
Yes, Trustee.
I would like to make a motion to remove some checks from bills payable. Check number 104091, check number 104125, check number 104177, and check 104183.
I'll second that, Mayor.
Okay. Roll, questions? Roll call. Madam Clerk?
Trustee Williams?
Both sides.
Trustee Brooks?
Both sides.
Trustee Jenkins?
Both sides.
Trustee Franklin?
Vote side.
Trustee Bolden?
Both sides.
Trustee McMullen?
Both sides.
Mayor Rudis?
Both sides.
So let me ask this. For the motion on the bills payable, was that amount that was stated, is that the amount with those amounts removed or not? You need to amend the amount of the motion for the bill payable.
No, it's not.
Deduct those checks, then the amount goes down.
I can't hear you, John.
Once you deduct those checks, then the total changes.
So we have to do the calculation now. Government at its finest. Yes, sir.
I have a total, I just need a second check on the number before I provide it. Okay, the total is going to be $380,697.78. $380,697.78. That would be the new total, Mr. Mayor.
What is it again, John?
$380,697.78.
78.
78 cents.
All right, is there a motion to accept the bills payable with the subtraction of those checks removed?
Your motion. It's already a motion, it's just amending the motion.
Just amending the motion, yeah.
And that was to remove the checks though, right?
Right.
Okay.
No. There was a motion actually made by trustee Brooks that was seconded by trustee McMullen, seconded by trustee Williams with the original amount. Then we have the motion by trustee Williams, seconded by trustee Brooks to remove those checks. So we're just going to amend that. The minutes will reflect that the first motion was amended, the amount of the first motion was amended pursuant to discussion to $380,697.78. And that was the motion by trustee McMullen, seconded by trustee Williams.
Okay. So,
Just need a vote.
just need a vote now. Madam Clerk, roll call.
Trustee Williams?
Both sides.
Trustee Brooks?
Both sides to pay the bills.
Watch out now.
Well, I still got a question. We vote to pay.
Oh,
I still got a question, I'm sorry.
Okay, trustee.
Check number 104251, University Park Association for Youth Baseball Reimbursement. Who is that check going to?
Going to the association, it's not going to the individual, it's going to the actual baseball association.
Okay, so.
That's provided to us, based on the receipts received.
Okay, so the baseball no longer has an association or a board. That's why I'm concerned about this. There is no board for baseball anymore. So I'm concerned that this check may go to a particular person. I just want to make sure, in our financial situation that we're being, responsible in regards to that. So I know for sure that baseball has no board this year. So I'm just concerned to who the check will go to.
So, trustee, the check is written out to the association. It's not going to be written out to an individual person. We'll put the check on hold based on the information that you're providing right now.
Okay, perfect.
But the check will not be issued to an individual person, and then we'll not be able to cash the check because it's actually made out to the association.
To the association.
So we'll put a hold on the check.
Thank you, sir.
And then also until the association is properly dissolved, the village still has this association file as valid until it's properly dissolved.
Okay, is it University Park Association?
So I have to review the financial documents.
We'll talk.
So we'll talk.
Okay, all right, cool, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Continue the roll call, Madam Clerk.
Trustee Jenkins? Both sides. Trustee Franklin?
Votes aye.
Trustee Bolden? Both sides. Trustee McMullen?
Both sides.
Mayor Rudez?
Votes aye. And just for the record, Madam Clerk, we're going to make sure that that check is put on hold and not dispensed to anyone.
How can it just be void?
Ms. Morgan?
Okay. Report of the Board of Trustees. Village Clerk.
No report at this time.
John, Manager Payne.
So I'm going to ask Vista National to come up to do their presentation on health insurance. I want to do that under the manager's report. It'll be a very short presentation.
Okay, well, let's make sure, let's go around with the trustees first. Give the trustees an opportunity.
Okay.
Give the trustee has a report. Give me a second, National.
I do.
I do that. All right.
We can start at that end.
Trustee McMullen.
Good evening, everyone. It's a well-known fact that if you are quoted, that means you're making significant change. I've been quoted several times this evening, and it's a form of flattery, because what I've stated on the channel right here is that it's very pertinent. Now, I'm very, very passionate about what I discuss. And for me to be get quoted 2 or 3 times tonight, I feel very good, and it's very good for me to be quoted quite often, because what I'm saying it passionately. So I don't mind comments from the general public as to what I'm doing up here, but when you actually get down to it and you start to be vicious about it, now we can have a difference of opinion. I will always be a man of my word, and I will stand up as a man, but vicious attacks to me and what I stand for will not be stood for. And I myself would like to carry on my goal of being trustee of this village, and I would do it with the passion that I have because I've worked long and hard to be up here. So I may differ from you, but you have made several comments outside of the normal realm, which is very, very difficult to take. Now, if you would control yourself, that'd be fine. That'd be fine, but someone's always asking you to be quiet for the Miss Millie Morgan. So I will continue to serve the people and as a steward of everybody here. I will do my best, and I will sleep well at night after my decisions are made. I am a man, and I will stick with it, okay? Now, I will not be bullied by anybody in this village, and you can talk to me, and you can talk to me normally, but I will not be bullied by anybody sitting at their table, from their car, from the kitchen table. I will not stand for it, because I'm a man of integrity, and I will always be that way. And that is my report for today.
Right.
Trustee Franklin?
Thank you. So this report will become known as my What Have You Done For Me Lately report. Summer 2019, I started the summer with the Craig Park Restoration Project, where I got out there and with volunteers in the community, and we painted the park, we painted the basketball courts and the dugouts and other parts of the park so that the kids can start their summer off with a nice park to play in, and they used it to the fullest extent this summer. I initiated my Days on Duty program that I talked about, where I got together with several men in the community and we patrolled the streets at night on Fridays and Saturdays between the hours of 8 and 12. We came out 17 times this summer. I personally passed out over 1,800 cases of water to residents as we go through this water crisis, which means I got out there on the truck with the volunteers and the workers to pass out waters, taking off days of work to do it. Some of the days it was over 100 degrees out there. Successfully just registered over 160 football and cheerleaders. That's 160 youth in the community that's gonna have something positive and constructive to do for at least the next 4 months after school, during the most critical hours and on the weekends in the community. I've sat up here and made votes, and I vote from my heart. I've proven to the residents that I'm not on anybody's team. I've been an advocate of bringing this board together. When I talk to the trustees and the mayor, they always hear me say, I have a vision that this board will become one, and I'm gonna continue to fight for that. And in closing, I want to recognize Manager Pay for your acknowledgement by Governor State, because that's impressive.
Yes.
And what's really impressive to me is that, you know, we have a certain stigma and image about our kids who wear dreadlocks. And I was talking to my son about it because he wears dreadlocks, and he was considering should he cut it because he's been having some image issues and people prejudging him. And I told him you can be whoever you want to be. And you can wear your hair however you want to wear your hair. So as a black man, a young black man that has an image of whatever image you want, but still successful, is a testimony to the kids in the community. So congratulations on your acknowledgement by Governor State. And that completes my report.
Trustee Brooks?
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to say acknowledgement to the Flowers family. I just seen Mrs. Flowers in April. Excuse me, I've been sick since Thursday. Go to the doctor for a checkup and you come out with a cold by Friday. That's ridiculous. But, so excuse my voice. But the Flowers family, I just want to say the prayers are definitely with you. I also want to thank Ms. Keeley, Director Durrell. I want to thank you, Chief Chelios. Who else was out there with me? It was Deputy Chief Wilson, I believe. We were passing out, and Ms. Keeley, they were passing out plates, water up at Village Hall. Now, I can't get out there on the truck like my fellow trustee. I don't have that back. Unfortunately, it's fused from doing my job, and sometime every day I wish I never went to that call because it's the pain that never go away. But I would like to thank those members because people drove up to Village Hall and the water was there in the fire bay, and it's quite surprised how many people know you when they walk up and say, "Thank you, Trustee Brooks, keep doing what you're doing." What I am doing is just basically what I promised to do, and that was indeed do the best I can by voting in the best of your interests up here and in this community. And while we speak of community, let me say this. I too, like my partner, I hear it, but my skin is pretty tough. If you wore a badge for 15 years, and you can imagine what was said to me when I come in someone's house. It's amazing how the wife calls the police on her husband, and when we're locking him up, you all kind of names walking out the door, when you're the one that called us because you had the problem. So at that point, it really doesn't matter anymore. But afterwards, I would like to also say, my wife, and she just showed up, I want to thank her, New Hope Church, the Moni Mavericks. Not only that, Richie's High School, when I was a police liaison. I was hired there because of my work as a Harvey police officer in Harvey, but they wanted me in Park Forest. So your work is not confined to just this community. Jesus didn't preach in one little area. He traveled. So I'm just going to tell you, I may not be confined to University Park totally, because as we move on, all of us someday, someone made a mention, Mayor, I don't want to put this in the atmosphere, but it may happen. But I told someone, Mayor Rudez has a mind of a state official. They said, what? He's your mayor. I said, his mind is bigger than a mayor. So don't be surprised one day if you see him running for office for downstate and win. Don't be surprised, because your seed that you plant is bigger than what you know. So I apologize if some people don't see what I've done in 2 years, and I'm not going to go through the whole list because I might run again, and I'm going to put it all out there when it's time to run. But what I will say is that for 2 years, I tried to keep this village stable. And in closing, for everybody sitting here, I seen somebody up here, and I always tell them, I seen 2 women crying on my transition. They said, whatever you do, Trustee Brooks, follow this blueprint that those outgoing trustees did, because we are this close from the state taking over. All I got to say is the state here? Thank you. God bless you for listening.
I want to send our sympathy out to the Flower resident. I also would like to I would also like to thank Darrell. He takes time in this village. Things that he see that's wrong, he takes his own time. He go back there, he makes sure it's done. When the people complete their job, he comes back and check it. So he makes sure that work is done and is done correctly. So I want to say thank you. I also want to say thank you to this board, because what we have been doing up here, I think is a very good job. I think we all listen to each other. We all pick out the right things that we know is best for this community. And I hope we keep it up.
All right, I'll keep it real quick. First of all, I'd like to acknowledge our State Rep Anthony DeLuca. Thank you for taking time out of your busy day. All your help you're doing with outdoor water. We'll get through this as well. But I just want to talk about Governor Pritzker has passed a lot of bills in Springfield that are very advantageous for the community in the Southland region. We have to kind of change our thinking and think futuristic. There's some laws that some people are uncomfortable with, but there's some necessities as far as revenue generating for our municipalities that we really need to take a hard look at it. We've had opportunity to have big discussions. There's so much economic development opportunities right at our footsteps, a potential third airport, a variety of opportunities to bring in revenue for a change instead of always spending dollars. So, and a new relationship with Governor State University that this village has never ever seen before. And I'm proud to say that they gave us a nice donation for our first annual back to school celebration. What's it been, how long has it been? 4 or 5 years since the village has had one. Here's an opportunity to bring people together. It's since 2014. Well, okay, comments from the audience, please, give me the opportunity to finish what I'm saying. So anytime, our board is we're working together, and we all realize the importance of providing a better quality of life in our community, public safety, get these houses back on the tax rolls, but an opportunity to circulate those dollars within this community. So support us, and we'll be coming with the town hall meeting very soon. We're going to be working on a date so we can inform the whole community at one time on our direction of our community. And I think I'll leave it at that for this time then. Thank you. Manager Payton.
I asked Vista National to come up. You got a hard act to follow. But come on up and give your presentation. I'm going to present Vista National. They've done multiple presentations to me in regards to health insurance options for the village and cost savings options. I've spoken to many brokers over my 2-year time period, and this is the group I recommend to take over the management of our health insurance plan and actually bring some realized cost savings, and just not speaking it, but actually doing it. Thank you.
Thank you, Manager Payton. Thank you, trustees. My name is Khalil Hogan. My partner, Rob Schaefer. Vista National Insurance Group's been around since 1996, 23 years in business. I'm one of the principal partners, been with the firm for over 15 years. We work very closely with a lot of municipalities in the south suburbs, along with school districts, park districts, and colleges. Just to name a few of the villages and cities we work with, Sauk Village, Dalton, very significantly, by increasing the deductible. By doing that, we have a third-party administrator that handles all claims that go against that deductible. When you do that, you save both money for the village, yet you keep the benefits intact for the employees. We do understand with unions, there are constraints as long as what you can do with those plan designs and benefits. So without changing benefits, just literally saving money for the village, knowing that health insurance is your second largest expense next to payroll. So we talk about that in this letter. In your handout, we have information about how to outline that program. We did that very successfully, most recently over at the Village of Sauk Village. We took their insurance renewal, we negotiated it down very significantly with Blue Cross Blue Shield. We then took that plan design and implemented a health reimbursement arrangement, which created additional savings. That is what we want to propose to do here at the Village of University Park. In addition to the significant savings that we can realize by this model, the other benefit of that is by having a third party handle the reimbursements, it takes the university out of the middle of that equation. What I mean by that is there are laws governed by the federal government called HIPAA. That's the protection of information for the employees based on their medical conditions. When you have a third party handling the administration of claims, it takes the village out of that process. So there's no violation of federal laws of privacy through HIPAA when you remove that liability of risk from the village. In addition to that, we also layer ourselves with services for the employees and for the village. Those services include our concierge assistance. When you hear concierge, think about when you go to a hotel. If you need something, you call concierge. That's how our agency is set up to work the same way. If any of the employees of the village need help with anything benefits related, they make one phone call, one email, or they can download our free mobile app. In your handout, you'll see a flyer outlining that service that talks about how that works. Free on any mobile device or any tablet. So by making that outreach to our office, we can get involved, call the doctors, call the hospitals, call the insurance carriers to resolve any and all claim matters that your employees encounter. So if somebody gets a bill in the mail, they're not sure what to do with it, rather than trying to figure that out on their dime or on your dime during work hours, one call to us, we take care of it. That's one of the many services that we offer to help assist the employees of the village. Any questions?
Yeah.
May I be recognized? Manager Pate, one of the problems, and this of course the three of us talking here, that we know that when we came aboard, Williams, McMullen, and myself, we were dishing out over $1 million plus in insurance. I think the old board members caught it, and they were trying to scale back on it. And I'm looking here, if we go to the health reimbursement arrangement, cost savings analysis, this would be incredibly large, bigger savings than what those numbers, according to the IRH report. I'm sorry, let me reflect all the way back to that. That's what the numbers I'm going off. This would be a greater savings compared to the problems that we ran into with just pushing money out from general funds.
Exactly. You know, we have been working with our current broker for a significant amount of time. Myself, and the village staff and the unions last year attempted to get cost savings with our current broker, and we're not able to achieve those cost savings. One thing I want to make noteworthy is the village is actually in the middle of the renewal at this point. I know the mayor mentioned this matter being called in September. The village's health renewal actually initiates now. The reason I have this group coming on is this is a group that I am going to recommend changing over to as far as managing our health insurance benefits. This is a matter of advisement, managerial decision, but I wanted the board the opportunity to meet this group as well as allow them to present the information to show cost savings prior to making this executive decision.
Okay. Because I just wanted to add that, Mayor, that was one of the things in that IRH report that you guys had caught, that it was almost over $1 million. We were pushing out $1 million, and that's ridiculous when we have X amount of millions coming in, and already $1 million is going towards health insurance. So I just kind of wanted to, I just see a savings, and I kind of wanted that to be publicly known that these numbers that they gave us is compared to 2 years ago, this is extraordinary.
And we do that on the house, we get more in depth and we'll do a comparison.
I think here's what Manager Pate is saying is essentially right now, since you're in renewal, Blue Cross Blue Shield needs to get because and I believe he has the authority as the village manager to change to do a change on the broker of record document. And Mr. Hogan, Mr. Schaefer, I'm assuming that's what you need for you to do the negotiations with Blue Cross Blue Shield.
Correct.
So I believe what Manager Pate is doing is he's put this out there so that the board is understanding that he wants you to see the rates, and that he's letting you know that his recommendation is that he's going to be completing the broker of record documents so that Vista National would be your broker of record for purposes of saving on the health insurance. If there's because you're in renewal now, I'm not sure.
So we have a renewal hold letter that's currently at Blue Cross, pending the broker change. So Blue Cross has not released the renewal numbers as of yet.
When, Mr. Hogan or Mr. Schaefer, when would be, and let me, just for purposes of disclosure, I have actually worked with these gentlemen at a couple of other places. I have no opinion as to whether or not you should go with them or not. I want that to be known, but because I have worked with them. When is the latest point in time that Blue Cross Blue Shield, or maybe Manager Big knows, that the broker of record forms need to be completed for the village for you guys to complete the renewal in time?
It's a very difficult question to answer because they can release the renewal at any point in time. Right now, you're within that window of when it can be released. So the initiative to send that letter to Blue Cross to hold off on that, I believe they allow 7 to 14 days from the hold letter date before they will then go forward with making whatever they're going to do.
So currently, there is a hold letter that's on file with the Blue Cross Blue Shield. Once the renewal is released, they'll make notification to me that the renewal is released, and I have 7 days to either do a change of broker, or after the 7-day time period, they'll release it to the current broker.
So your issue is that if there's some dissent to it, you're in the possibility where you may not be able to get the broker changed in time.
And you will have to wait a whole another year.
So I guess that's, I know it's not, I don't think technically it needs to be on the agenda because you're a manager of government. So the question would be, I think, Is there a, I think, asking if there's a consensus in regards to
Correct.
making the change for a village manager paid to do the local record change.
I just want to let you compare. Mayor's not on here for action tonight anyway.
It doesn't require board action.
Well, I'm not comfortable with it right now. I'd like to do a comparison.
Ma-
Within that time, then we can sit down for a week or so with this little.
Can I say this at least, Mayor, and for those new board members, that from what I'm seeing in these numbers, there is at least 20,000, maybe a month. But Mayor, I'll feel comfortable if you want to sit down with Manager Pate and see. I'm just saying from the meaning that if you went with this company, I'm saying with the board members, vote out for the cheaper price.
Yeah, we want to make sure that it's compatible, that the employees are still getting what they're getting.
It is.
Yeah, I know it is.
Yes.
I just want to do my comparison. First time he heard about it, he just mentioned before the night, so.
So just so you're aware though, they're not able to give you a comparison on what the new rates, but the new rates haven't been released, so.
Yeah, I want to just quickly explain that again so everyone understands. Because part of the reason why we went through this process, having worked with Blue Cross, you know how this process works with them specifically. When a group is making a decision to change broker representation, if Blue Cross releases your upcoming renewal before you make a decision to make the change, and then you decide to change after that renewal has been released, the new broker that you appoint no longer has any authority or ability to negotiate the rates on your behalf. The reason why Blue Cross does that is they don't want to appear to be biased between one broker versus another. But I know, and brokers in the industry know, that when you have knowledge and experience having worked there, there is a difference in the broker representation. The way we negotiate is very different than most brokers out there in the marketplace because we used to work there. So it's really helpful in that perspective. But I do understand your concern about wanting to compare. I just want you to understand the process that goes on behind the scenes.
Okay. Thank you.
I'll state this. First, as he stated, because I see people with deer in headlight looks out here, there's no change in the current benefit package. There's no change. Based on the formula, there's no changes, and we can go over and sit and have conversations over it. That's perfectly fine. I'm presenting cost savings. At the end of the day, if the board does not provide a consensus to cost savings, I'm not going to approve it, and then the board will take onus for not getting the cost savings. This is why I'm trying to do this the proper way. But if the board does not want to provide consensus on this, even though as a manager I can make the determination, this is why I'm being presented to the board. This is something that's uncommon, that typically doesn't happen. So I'm just putting that out there and saying that. And we can have conversations, you know, in regards to it, but the time is ticking, the time is now. Or we'll wait another year and we'll pay $1.1 million in health insurance payments, because that's what we pay on a yearly basis.
Well, John, you know, respectfully, we spend a lot of time together. This is the first time I've heard about it, and you haven't mentioned it to me any whatsoever.
Mr. Mayor, you met with a broker last week, and you didn't notify me of you meeting with an insurance broker.
Let me finish, please. I would like for you to give me head first notice and talk about that you're considering changing the employee benefits before you come ask me for a presentation on the manager's report in a board meeting. When this is not customarily, these presentations are usually done in the COW meeting. And I would have no problem with doing that, but it's your process that just bring this to me at the last minute asking for this presentation. I don't mind whatsoever. I want to ensure that the employees get the best benefit that they can possibly have, and we get the cost savings. So this isn't my first rodeo, all right? So I'll just ask you next time if you want to do it, let me finish, please. Let the process take place. I don't mind sitting down and working.
I respectfully disagree.
Okay.
Yes.
You got your right to. Thank you. Okay. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second. All in favor? Aye. Thank you.